Hi there. So another thing I wanted to talk about was something that's quite interesting. I think basically, yeah, are we all related? We all share a common ancestor. I think maybe thousands of years ago, and it's interesting because you've got to realise we're all human beings. They're one species. We're all Homo sapiens. We're all primates. We're all from that category. We're all mammals. I mean, forget the mammals bit because mammals goes on to cows and pigs and stuff. So forget the mammals bit. That's a bit too diverse. But it just shows you we're all part of that same family, really. We're all the same species, and people kind of overlook it a lot. Like when I'm walking down the street, that Indian guy over there, he could be my 200th cousin or something. Like that I don't know, but I think it's quite fascinating, really, how we are all related. Because you've got to realise we're all, I've said before, 85% of the world population has dark brown or black hair, and you can pretty much tell having a lack of melanin in your hair, and hence blonde hair, is a negative trait. That's why I think most people in Scandinavia have that, because the dark hair is to reflect the sun's UV rays, and because most humans evolved from Africa, the first humans were actually, they are African, I suppose, dark skin. When people migrated to other parts of the world, they didn't need so much dark features, so the blonde hair the blonde hair came in because in the colder places you don't have to have dark skin and dark hair, really. But obviously we kept that in certain parts of the world, and obviously I've got very dark hair. I mean, I've always had very dark hair, which I'm quite thankful for. Because I'd rather have dark brown hair than have sort of mousy brown hair, and it stands out more, I think. So I haven't got that dark skin either. I've got kind of fairly pale skin. I think the dark hair stands out more on paler skin anyway, so I think I'm quite happy I've got dark hair. But yeah, I think it's quite interesting. I think are we all related? I think yeah, if you go back to your cousin, because I was looking at this online, I was getting confused between first cousin twice removed and second cousin and third cousin. It's quite fascinating, your great uncle's daughter's son, or your uncle or your grandma's cousin's brother. It's really there's a lot there, and it's quite fascinating how far down you can go to say your cousin's this, your cousin's that, and stuff. And it's wow. But I think it's very interesting because we don't really think twice when we go out and about and think, God, that guy's related to me. That guy could be my 200th cousin. That guy that maybe my 800th cousin twice. Technically we are all related and we all share a common ancestor. And I think all life on Earth actually descended at some point a few million years ago. So really everything on the planet is all related. We've even shared 50% of our DNA with a banana. So it just shows you that if you go down far enough, we're all related. But I think human beings specifically, it's quite interesting. You never really think it. You never think that we are all related if we go down far enough. But we do. You think where does the line start then? And it is fascinating. I swear it is. It is something that kind of fascinates you. I mean, wow. But yeah, and like I said, you can tell by our physical appearances that we're not all that different. Not particularly. Whether it's I think there's something about we all share 1,000 DNA bases, and only one of those DNA bases is different. One out of 1,000 is different, which takes up our appearance, but the rest of it is all the same. So that's how closely related we are genetically, and it is fascinating. But yeah, it's unbelievable. And you wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think looking at us, but I suppose you would too, because I've always been fascinated as well about how all animals have the same facial structures. We all have two eyes and a nose and a mouth in the same sort of position. Although, some animals cows and sheep and even pigeons and stuff and birds and whatever, they obviously have eyes at the sides of their heads because they're prey animals. So they have to. I find that really cute actually. The fact all these gentle animals have eyes at the sides of their heads to detect animals that are trying to hunt them or something. Because that's their instinct. That's how they evolved. And I find that really cute, looking at a gentle little pigeon's eyes or little cow's eyes and seeing eyes on the sides of their heads. And I think we are, because they're obviously prey animals, so they need to be on the aware. I find that really sweet actually. Dogs don't have that, which is interesting though. Dogs don't have eyes on the sides of their heads, so obviously they're not prey animals. I never thought of it like that actually. Neither do cats. Cats don't have eyes on the sides of their heads, but sheep do, cows do, birds do a lot, pigeons definitely do. That's really interesting. I never thought of it like that. Wow. Anyway, pigs don't, do they? They must do. I'm not sure. Yeah, they must. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think we're not all that far down the tree line, down the tree of life. So I think it's very fascinating that. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say really. Yeah, I think it's fascinating. So yeah.